to our introduction to the Lead Network. We're very excited to have you today. We're going to give you, just to give you a little overview of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to do a little talk about who we are, what we do, why we were started, that kind of thing. And you're going to have the chance to meet some of the exec who are here. And then we are going to go into an exciting announcement, which is exclusive to this presentation, and will also be posted a little bit more later on social media about. But you've come to the right place to hear it first, so congrats for that. But yes, and then we're going to go into a little Q&A at the end if anyone has any questions. So to begin, if my thing is going to work, no, it's not going to work. There we go, lovely jubbly. So who are we? So we are a supportive community for the ambitious individuals of Warwick. And so we recently had a name change. So as you can see in that photo, we previously were called the Girl Boss Society. And like a week or so ago, we changed our name to the Lead Network, and LEAD stands for Leadership, Empowerment and Development. And so we really wanted our new name to encapsulate who we are and what we want our members to get out of our society. And so we really hoped that that was present in the name and in what we do. So we are, as the previous name would suggest, focused on issues that affect women. And we want to be a supportive community in which these issues can be discussed openly, and people can be supported to talk about things or to achieve their dreams and their goals and all that sort of thing, and it's all just very wholesome. But yes, we were also founded in 2019, so a relatively new society, so it's very exciting to see how we can change and progress as time goes on. So as I said, we're quite a recent society, and so we're saying here like why we exist. So we saw that on campus there's a lot of societies that cater to specific industries or cater to more well-being kind of things, but we sort of saw a gap for something that did both. And so we created a society which our events and our community hopes to combine professional and personal development. So one of our founders' motto was that well-being is the foundation of all success. And so we want to make sure that we're helping people to achieve in their personal and professional life. So it's time to meet the exec, which is very exciting. So we have some of our different members of the exec here right now. So if we start off, unfortunately, our first one is Ishika, and Ishika, you are here. So do you want to say hi? But then I will talk you about you. But yeah, do you want to just say hi?
I'm so sorry, I can't speak very much today.
Yes, unfortunately, Ishika has come down with a bout of probably freshest flu. So unfortunately, is slightly ill. So I will discuss you in front of you. So Ishika is our head of careers and sponsorship, and you're in your second year, aren't you, doing international management? We're very excited to have Ishika on board this year. She's got a bunch of amazing ideas about how we can progress and how we can help people. And also you're saying, Ishika, that your sort of inspirational woman would be Jane Austen, which I definitely relate to. So I get that. Do you want to give any reasoning as to why, in as short a sentence as possible for your throat? Or not, that's fine. I don't mind.
Sorry, could you just repeat that? I'm so sorry.
That's okay. But do you want to say anything about why Jane Austen is your inspiration?
Oh, she's so badass for the time that she was living in, and the way she kind of just rewrote that portion of history, let people know that, women's voices, however subtle, will still be more impactful when given the opportunity. Was really great. And just being able to see how she kind of tore society down right in front of them without them realizing was just very, very inspirational. Yes, thank you.
Very good. Yes, we stan. We do stan. Thank you very much, Ishika. So next, we have our social secretary, who unfortunately could not be here today. So Tripti is our social sec, as I said, and she's in her second year doing economics. Tripti has some really exciting plans for the year as well. We're going to do a mixture of some like wholesome socials, well, wholesome as in like movie nights, that kind of thing, but then also we're going to have more drinking nights. But what we sort of want to make clear is that all of our socials like have the option for either, really. Like we never want to force people into anything, and so Tripti is a brilliant person to lead this, and has a lot of different ideas for the year going forward. So next we have Beth. Hello, Beth. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello. So I've got very patchy Wi-Fi. I keep dropping out. Don't know if you see me coming in and out of this. Is it okay if I just keep the camera off? Because I'm not sure if I'm going to last.
Yes, that's fine. Don't worry.
So hello, I'm Beth. I'm third year English literature, and I'm the Women's Summit coordinator, which is very exciting. This year, my girl boss is Jacinda Arden, because I think she's amazing. And she has dealt with COVID very well, probably a lot better than we have. So yeah, is there anything else you wanted me to say, Ellie?
Do you want to just explain a little bit, do a little pitch for the Women's Summit?
The Women's Summit. Okay, so it's a inclusive event for everyone on campus, but essentially this year we're really trying to encourage like the wellbeing side as well. So there'll be events and panels, which is encouraging discussions about careers and development professionally, but also personally as well. So that hopefully will be on the 5th of March in 2022.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Beth.
Thank you.
Next, also, Kat unfortunately has not been able to make it, but she is our head of marketing and strategy. So when you see our posts on social media, that's her. Kat is in her third year doing ePace, and I will be honest, I cannot remember what the E stands for in ePace. Can anyone can anyone remember? No. Maybe economics? I don't know. Anyway, that's what she does. And yes, so yeah, you'll see whenever things are posted, that is Kat. So if ever you want to get in contact with our sort of pages, if you ever have any questions at all, then it will likely be Kat that you're speaking to, or myself. But yes, it would it would be lovely to talk to you, to be honest. So if ever you have any questions or want to chat, please feel free to contact our social media pages. And next we have Alice. Off you go, Alice.
Okay, hi everyone. Sorry for the background clutter, but my name is Alice Ringelstetter, and I'm the vice president of the Lead Network. I was about to say girl boss, to be quite honest. But so for me, my inspirational woman, I would have to say, amongst the many that I have, is Cher, primarily for the legendary feminist badass quotes she said, such as, "Mom, but I am a rich man." Or rather, the scene where she was talking about how men are a luxury, and I love men, but they're not needed. And I think a lot of her perspective, especially for a time in which women were still kind of, the housewives and whatever, especially for the time that she was born in. I think she was somewhat still ahead of her time, and I think she's such an inspirational woman. And despite this, really cool, basically. And I'm a second year student, and I study biomedical sciences, and I'm very excited to meet everyone that joins the society. So,
brilliant. Thank you very much, Alice. And then me. Hello. I know I've been speaking this entire time and haven't properly introduced myself. I do apologize for that. But hello, everyone. I am Ellie. I'm the president this year, and I'm in my third year studying English literature. So same as Beth. When I was choosing my inspirational woman, I actually went a little bit closer to home in terms of I chose my Nana. So my nana is my grandmother. I chose her because she is a very independent, strong woman. She is a force to be reckoned with, and especially because she sort of didn't go with the stereotypes of her time. So in the 50s, when there's the sort of stereotype of housewife, she came over from Ireland over to England to study to be a nurse, and she lived here all on her own for many a year, and she followed her dream, and she made a difference, and she's just very strong and independent, and still lives alone even though she's nearly 90, and she's a force to be reckoned with, as I said, and she inspires me every day. So yes, so that's a little bit about meeting the exec. I'm now going to pass over to Alice, who's going to discuss the sort of events that we do that you can get involved with.
All right, so as Ellie has mentioned, you have a brief idea of who we are, but now exactly what it is that our society does. So we have three main events. We have the career events, we have Spilling the Tea, and we have socials. So our career events are largely focused, as I'm sure you can imagine, on careers. So we would host sessions such as how to build your CV. We can also help you get into contact with the placement team and book one-on-ones with them so that you can work on your CV, or rather your cover letter, anything really related to your career we can provide for. We can also take your suggestions for things that you might want to hear and discuss such things. But on top of this, we'd also like to get professionals in their careers to come to these events so that they can explain how they got to where they are in their career. So for example, last year, we had a senior at a law firm, and she discussed who she is, how she got to that point, and especially as a woman, as a senior at a law firm, it's not as common, unfortunately. So it's really inspirational to hear these badass women talking about how they got to where they are. So career events are a mix of actually helping you, providing tips and tricks, and then also Q&A sessions with these really inspiring women. And then we have the Spilling the Tea sessions. So these are really safe space sessions in which you can talk about anything really regarding mental health. We have lots of discussions, for example, stress, because as I'm sure we can all relate, school is pretty stressful, whether it's school, whether it's family, whatever it is. It's always nice to have a safe space with a group of lovely women to discuss these topics, which unfortunately in our society is still seen as taboo. So we're trying to break these norms and help you go through these hardships in life together, basically. And then our socials, just like any other society, whether it be watching the movie, which is actually a social we're planning to do soon, so stay tuned for that. It'll be on my Instagram page. Or if you, I don't know, like a circling event, whatever really, but social just like any other society. So these are the different events that we cater. And then another element to the Lead Network that we had last year, but we want to enforce a lot more this coming year, is our podcast. So this would be kind of an extension of what our career events would be, but rather we were thinking of having these professionals in their field come onto the podcast and have a question and answer podcast system where you guys can send in questions and we can ask them and just have a lovely conversation, something easy to follow along, not too concrete, nothing too challenging, and also it wouldn't be overlapping with the other career events. So this is just, again, like any podcast that you really listen to, but it's not like super informative. It's just a loose conversation, and this would be something like every 2 weeks. And this, again, we'll be promoting a lot more in the future, so stay tuned. And then the last part I'll be discussing is the when. So I've mentioned all these amazing socials and events. When are we hosting them? So the Spilling the Tea, this is every week. The date basically stays the same all the time, making it easy to plan in the future. And then socials and our career events would be once every 2 weeks that alternate with each other. So basically every week we'd have something planned. And well, I hope to see you all join in the future.
Brilliant. Thank you, Alice. So I will be discussing a little bit about the where, because this year is an interesting year. So last year we did everything online, obviously, because we had to. And this year we want to make sure that we're helping as many people as possible, because we know, because the situation with COVID is a little bit uncertain still, we want to make sure that everyone can come to our event, everyone can get our support if they would like to. So we're going to have a little bit of a hybrid model this year. Predominantly, it probably will be in person as much as we can, just because we think that that's sort of the best way to connect, I think, and it's just nice to get out and about, especially after the year we've just had. But we also will do some of our events virtually, just so that everyone can engage with it if they would like to, and can get involved in what we do. So that's a little bit about the where for this year. And then our upcoming events. So as Alice mentioned, we will soon be having another social after our one the other day in Leamington, which was very fun. We will be having another social probably in the next week or so, which will likely be a movie night. You hear it here first. Very exciting. Another lucky thing for you to be here for today. But also next week, we will be doing another of these introduction sessions. But this sort of presentation element will be a lot shorter. It'll be like a mini intro to who we are. And instead, we will be making it a little bit, the predominant part of the session will be a mini spilling the tea, just so you can get a taster for what that is, because it can seem a bit of an odd concept when you distance yourself from it, but it's a great thing to go to. I mean, I speak totally unbiased, of course, but it's a very supportive environment, and so we would love to have you there just to see what it's like, and just see if it's something that you could find useful. But yeah, we'll be doing it probably along the lines of on the topic of sort of new beginnings, and the sort of talking about the stresses and struggles that can come with those, but also how we're going to get through them and how we can all push through it. And now on to our very exciting exclusive announcement, with a little exciting animation. We are recruiting, so we are doing some autumn recruitment, and so this encapsulates, so there's 3 positions that are for our exec team, and then we also have our ambassadors. So for our exec team, we are looking for a welfares and wellbeing coordinator, a head of community and campaigns, and a head of creative and design. So I'll explain a little bit about each of those roles. We will have a full post later today, which will go into more detail about these different roles, but essentially, just to give you a little overview, so for welfare and wellbeing events coordinator, this person will be doing, I mean, the welfare aspect is looking over everyone in our society, everyone in our exec, and making sure that everything's going well with them, that they can provide as much support as possible, whether that be through posts, whether that be through chatting to people, that kind of thing. That's the welfare aspect. And then the wellbeing events is events like our Spilling the Tea, which is a weekly event, but also trying to think of engaging events that sort of go alongside that. So for example, last year we did events like yoga, we did some like card making, that kind of thing, those sort of events as well that can be really fun but also really help people. And then the second role that we're recruiting for is head of community and campaigns. So as I've said before, and as I stressed, we really want to be a massive community, and I think we are, but I think there's always room for improvement, and so our head of community will be going on to so we have a Facebook group, which I will be mentioning in a second as well, and will be the person mainly looking after that Facebook group, and making sure there's posts on there about what we're doing, but also that there's chances for interaction with us, and so we can really get to know one another and really find out where we can help one another the most. And the campaigns element also to that role is we really want to make sure that we are having an impact on campus but also beyond, and so the campaigns element of that is to create things like social media campaigns or sort of more general weeks of different activities that are about different either societal issues or charities or different things like that, that people can engage with so that we can really help externally too. So for example, last year we had a week that was dedicated to talking about men's mental health. And we did that in collaboration with the men's hockey team. And that was a really great week because we did a series of challenges, but we also did Instagram lives every day to discuss why it's so important to talk about men's mental health and what we can do to help the men in our lives and just generally raise awareness. We were also raising money at the same time for a charity, Tough Enough to Care, which I would recommend everyone look at anyway, because they do a lot of really good work. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. So raising awareness, doing different things that can help externally. And then our head of creative and design is in charge of creating the posts that we put on our social media. Sort of generally those will go on different social media websites as it would suggest, but also generally thinking of new posts that we can do to help people. So for example, last year we did a series of posts about when it was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and making sure everyone knows how to check themselves and things like that. That's up to the head of creative and design to come up with and to create, and also our website, looking over that, making sure it's the best it can be. And then finally, so those are within our exec team, but then also we would like to recruit some ambassadors. So sometimes these are called in other societies freshers reps, or freshers ambassadors, that kind of thing. But in our society, we would love to have anyone from any year be our ambassadors. We don't think it should just be limited to freshers. We think that it's a great opportunity for people who are in higher years as well, who would love to be part of what we do and have an impact, but who perhaps don't have the time to fully commit to being an exec member. We think that this is a brilliant role for you, if that speaks to you. So we will be announcing our different ambassador roles as well in the next day or so, and those will sort of, what we're changing this year is these roles will be more specialized on the whole. So it will generally be dedicated to a certain area of what we do. So you can have a really exciting chance to have an impact in an area that you find interesting. And yeah, we're really excited to see how that goes and to have some more people on board. So that's very exciting. So please make sure to keep having a look at our social medias for that. And then finally, so I mentioned earlier that we have a Facebook group. And so this is the link to our Facebook group. The little code is there. Also the bit.ly it says Girl Boss, but it is for our new network. If you use the Girl Boss one, it will take you to the Lead Network one. So essentially, because we are completely independent of the SU, we are completely free to join. You don't even have to pay the federation fee. You don't have to pay us specifically to join either. We are completely free because we want to make our society as inclusive and as accessible as possible, because we just want to help people really, and we want to create a community and a network, and we don't think that needs to be charged for. And so please do join our community on the Facebook group, because that is our form of membership. So if you sign up to that, you are officially a member of the Lead Network. Congratulations. And through that, you will be kept up to date on what we have going on. We will be getting in contact sort of with any sort of interactive things that we want to do, like polls and that kind of thing, we do that sort of thing on there as well. And also we want to make it so that it's a place where we can discuss things going on in the wider world too. So we will do posts, or you can do posts about something that's going on that sort of interests you or worries you or anything like that. It's a great chance to talk on there. So that's our community. We really hope that you would join. That would be wonderful to have you. But yes, thank you. So yes, finally, our next steps. So that is our website if you would like to have a look at who we are and what we do. It's sort of a repetition of what I've said today. On our social media, we're called The Lead Network on everything. We're on Facebook as well, The Lead Network as well. So please just search for us on there and give us a little cheeky follow. And as I said, if you are interested in what we do or just generally keeping up to date with what we do, please become a member for free through joining our exclusive community group, which is on Facebook. So yes, that concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for coming.